Today, a quick look back at the year in review, as well as, in honor of this holiday season, a little gift to all of you who've been so supportive of Approaching the Scene. Well, hey there, it's Hudson, and first and foremost, I just want to thank everyone this holiday season for being so supportive of this channel, of this series of Approaching the Scene. This is just a big conversation about everything photographic, and you out there in the community are what really makes it shine. And so all the input, all the questions, all the emails, all the people who've been liking, subscribing, telling their friends about the channel, I just cannot thank you enough. And I know there's a whole lot of new subscribers. We've actually, about 20% of the people watching the channel have subscribed in the last few months. And this is the 75th week that Approaching the Scene has been out there every single Thursday. So I wanted to just offer to anyone who's interested, I'll put a link, if you click show more at the top of the description of the video, I'll put a link where you can go, and if you submit to us, we're going to put together a list of each and every single Approaching the Scene with the title that you can just click and link and go to whichever one you want. For anyone who might be interested in another gear video, in another tripod maintenance video, in a fluid head video about a specific location, or just the philosophy of photography, this will give you an indexed list of all 75 Approaching the Scenes. You just click and go right to that particular episode that you're interested in. So if you'd like that, just click that link and we'll get you a hypertext linked set. And then, I know everyone's enjoying the holidays. Whatever holidays you celebrate, I hope it's filled with family and great food. It's been so much fun doing these Approaching the Scenes, and now that there are 75 of them, I was just kind of looking back, and I was thinking about what some of my favorite moments from this past year of Approaching the Scenes are, and I thought I would just link a few of my favorite particular episodes. For me, photography is kind of all about the travel, the adventure, the getting together with other photographers, and getting out there and exploring the world and bringing back those visual stories that we create. I mean, that's what drives my passion for photography. So there have been a few Approaching the Scenes where I've talked about different trips and sort of taking everyone along on some of the journeys. Really enjoyed the workshop in Patagonia this year. I did an Approaching the Scene really recently that was kind of a rundown of that, looking at images both through my lens and through all the participants in the workshop's lenses. I'll link that one for you. I did one on scouting in Cuba, and I'm so excited to be going back to Cuba this spring. We've got one completely full workshop. It filled so fast we opened a second workshop. It's a little more than half full. If anybody's interested, there's still a few slots in that. I'll put a sign-up link for that too down at the bottom underneath the links. I did a couple of videos about a workshop in Moab, as well as scouting in the Tetons and Yosemite. All of those will be workshops next year, but if you jump in, those were some fun trips with some great images and some fun location information. As far as gear videos, I know a lot of people have been watching the stuff about the Nikon Z6, Z7, the mirrorless cameras, or my fluid head videos. But a couple of ones, for those of you that are Nikon Z camera users, whether it's the Z6, the Z7, the Z50, or Zs if you're off in Europe, the depth of field issue is still a problem. It's something Nikon hasn't addressed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, jump in. I'm going to put a link to that video in the description that talks about there's just one thing. I absolutely love my Z cameras, and I'm not going back to DSLRs. It's not a deal breaker of a problem, but it's an easy firmware fix Nikon could do to let us preview final aperture depth of field zoomed in still mode. So just check that video out. Another one that I think is really something worth looking at is one where I talk about how to set up a fluid head on any type of tripod. I'll go through how to do it with a dedicated bowl tripod or your current, center column flat top tripod. And look for more stuff on setting up the ultimate fluid head in coming weeks. I got some really cool new stuff from Kirk that once again is kind of revolutionizing how I'm thinking about attaching the camera to the top of the fluid head. It's just an evolution of what's already been going on. So fun stuff coming. There were a couple post-production that I think you might want to go back and revisit or look at for the first time if you haven't seen. One that I thought was really well received earlier on was about how to get better looking prints, particularly if your prints are coming out a little too dark and washed out looking. So I'll put a link to that video, as well as another one on how to cull a huge set of images. Let's say you've been out photographing birds and wildlife or sports and you come back with thousands of images. How do you not feel overwhelmed? How do you actually make headway in culling through that? And I've got a technique and a process where you can sit down and buzz through those and get to the ones that you want in a single sitting. And I swear if you stick to it, it's going to help you with that culling process. So that's one that I'm going to put a link to. Finally, there were some just kind of some approach the scenes episodes where I literally just talked about the philosophy of photography. And there's one that I just love called Finding Your Own Image. It's actually from my core photography course. It was one of the videos from that I shared from Bears Ears National Monument. And so I'll put a link into that one. There's a lot of fun stuff coming in the next year. There's going to be some adventures, some different location work. There's going to be lots of stuff about gear, lots of stuff about post-processing, many videos coming, some stuff on lens calibration. I've got some stuff on monitor calibration and printing calibration that's coming that I think you're really going to enjoy. Post-processing, of course, on one Lightroom, all the Adobe stuff, and on one stuff, as well as whatever else pops up of interest. So you guys please continue. You've been so great with adding comments in the videos on YouTube or emailing me or reaching out through social media. I'm easy to get a hold of. Just hit me up with your questions, your comments, your concerns. That's what drives this conversation. It's the interactive nature of the whole thing that makes it worth doing to me, that makes it fun and exciting. And then, I run into so many of you, whether through workshops or seminars or online, and actually get to know you as people beyond just the comments and the questions. That this community is kind of growing, and it's a joy to be a part of. And I just want to thank all of you once again for tuning in and for sharing this and for liking the videos and subscribing. It means a lot to me, and I appreciate it. And again, if you want a hypertext-driven list of all 75 Approaching the Scene episodes with just a click to go into them so that you can find exactly what you're looking for, that's there. Just click Show More under the video description. Hey, thanks everyone. I hope you're enjoying the holidays. I know that my family is. My kids are on a kind of a constant sugar high, and they're going to bed about an hour late, but that's what the holidays are all about. So enjoy, and we'll see you next week.